the White House may be working around the clock to repair Vice President Kamala Harris's public image, but a shocking new poll suggests there's a lot more work that needs to be done. The new NBC poll found that just 32% of respondents held a positive view of the vice president. Yikes. On the other hand, 49% said they held a negative opinion of her. That's a net favorability rating of -17 and marks the lowest for a vice president in the history of NBC's polling. Let that sink in. Now, our historically unpopular vice president isn't looking to turn things around by solving the southern border crisis. Instead, she's using her time to glorify young climate activists.
Oh, summer break, think about it. It's a perfect time to find other students who are passionate about fighting the climate crisis.
I think only Greta Thunberg would take her up on that offer. And yesterday, Vice President Harris made a surprise visit to New York City's Stonewall Inn with Bravo's Andy Cohen. While there, she repeated the left's lies about book bans and so-called anti-LGBTQ legislation. She's also been attacking Republican lawmakers for implementing pro-life legislation in many states.
How dare they attack basic health care? How dare they attack our fundamental rights? How dare they attack our freedom?
So lowest polling in the history of NBC's asking the question about a VP. Setting records, Dr. Sapphire, just not the right kind of records.
Right. Well, you know, one thing that what she did just say right there that I didn't hear her say before that when she's talking about the pro-choice is that they're trying to take away the fundamentals of basic health care. But one of the fundamentals of basic health care is actually supporting women who become pregnant, and yet they are continuing to go against the pro-life centers. So that is against the fundamentals of basic health care. But back to Kamala Harris. When you look at historically, you look at a politician, you want them to be a good orator, and you want them to demonstrate leadership abilities, okay? They don't have to be an expert on everything. That's why they have advisors. They don't need to get into the intricacies. But we need someone to represent our country with fervor and conviction on the world stage. And while you have Kamala Harris's staffers saying, you know, her polling would be better if we could just get her in front of the camera a little bit more, we know that is absolutely false. And at this point on the world stage, we are an embarrassment. And I think I would settle at looking for someone who can get through a speech without laughing nervously or losing their train of thought, which is what we have right now. And Nikki Haley says it best. When you go into this next election, any vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Kamala Harris. She will absolutely take over as president at some point. And with polling so low and failure on policy and unable to speak on the world stage, she has to go. I cannot believe that she is still the pick.
It's amazing. And Emily, that got quite a laugh from you, the climate suggestion, because every college student wants to climate protest during their summer. That ain't it.
It's just so patently absurd. You know, every time she opens her mouth, it reminds me of the locker room speech she gave the already demoralized Howard basketball team, where it was just gibberish, it was tone deaf, it was irrelevant, and it was frustrating in that moment. You know, you're always like, what is she saying right now? And for someone to your point, in the vice president's shoes, in the storied shoes, the historic and important shoes, to count on, well, let's get those teenage girls to help me with my agenda here. Why don't you just do it yourself? How about you just actually fill your job duties? Why don't you, Miss Unifier in Chief, why don't you try to unify the country over legislation that has bipartisan support rather than always using the word they for everything? It's such a demonization. It's such an us against them. And it's pretty much rule one of law school, which I guess she missed because that's right, she didn't pass the bar on the first time. So
I love reminding people of that.
I do, because I think it's clear she has a lot of lessons. And while she was in Manhattan, since I live here, it's great that she went to that inn. I wish that she had met with maybe Asian American community leaders who've received a 300+% increase in violent attacks here, or perhaps the victims' families of not only police officers who have given their lives in the line of duty during the horrific spikes in violence here, but maybe the victims themselves. There's a long list of things in New York that she could have visited with or put her presence to that would have made people feel a lot better.
You know, Joey, someone she could take a few lessons from, I spoke with him last week, is former Vice President Mike Pence. Take a listen to what he had to say about Kamala Harris.
I know the job of vice president pretty well, Kayleigh. It's a demanding job, but it's clear that Vice President Harris has lost the confidence of President Joe Biden. Look, her first assignment was the border, and we continue to go through the worst border crisis in American history. All that being said, look, there's only one place in the White House the buck stops. And every crisis that we are facing in this country is a man-made crisis, and that man's name is Joe Biden.
Stop with him.
Yeah, you know, when you take the stump speech, you got to believe what you say and say what you believe. Her problem is she just, at the most basic level, doesn't come across genuine. It's not some deep-seated hatred people have for her because of her gender or her race or California or anything like that. It's simply that when she gets up there to talk and the nervous laughs do come out and the jumbled words do come out, already juxtaposed to Joe Biden doing the same thing sometimes, it just doesn't come across as genuine. And then you look at her position in the administration. He's exactly right. If Joe Biden doesn't have her back and give her assignments or opportunities that she can be successful in, then why should the rest of us believe in her as a leader?
And Jeff Zients, the chief of staff, said that we need to make sure we're doing a good job of exposing her, as if exposure is her problem.
Here's the thing. Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? There's just something about and most of us went to school on the yellow school bus, right? Is verbatim from something that Kamala Harris said.
Yeah.
So when they look at her, that's what they think, because we can see and hear and maybe even smell the incompetence. And when we look at her, we also think about all the people who were passed over for her, who missed out on this opportunity, who deserved this opportunity to be the vice president. So watching Veep, we love that. Living it, not so much.
Well, and to Joey's point, Joey said that she doesn't come across as genuine, but to Dagan's point, she doesn't come off not just not genuine, but incompetent. She does not seem competent on anything that she has been given, and the fact that she is tasked with potentially being the president of our nation is frightening.
Yeah, well, for the record, my 3-year-old loves the yellow school buses, too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.